Ease your mind, make you no go kill yourself. When you go make them, now only God go know. You dey try, make you no go lose yourself. No go stress yourself, cause no be you get yourself. Oh Lord, say now you go forgive me peace, everything.
Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another episode of Naya's Corner. Hope you guys are wonderful and you are blessed. And before anything, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as that bell notification so you can keep up with everything in Naya's Corner.
Welcome to part 2 of the conversation.
So the question would be like, what are some of the things that folks could be doing or investing in or even doing to help, I don't know, maybe remedy some of those issues that sound like economic issues? And I don't know if there's much that we can do, I'm just asking.
I think we need better leaders, that's the thing. We need better leaders. Because in Ghana, you can have $1 million, you can build this, you can do that. Like my school right here, every day that the school is open, GRA is coming. They want a tip when they're leaving. EPA. What does EPA have to do with the school? You're in there. Everybody that's coming in there wants you to give them some money. So at the end of the day, if I put all my money into a business and the system is eating it up, what have I done? Because if I have an assemblyman who's not helping me, I'm not going anywhere. MP is just taking his salary, driving a big car, siren, get out of my way, traffic.
Give an example of the EPA. Someone in a food business, I don't know if you recall that we had a conversation, so someone in a food business wanted to start.
So I think so far I'm the only one speaking. Because I mean the kind of information coming from every one of you here is quite amazing. I mean, just trying to hit on what Prince was saying. I love entrepreneurship. And I'm very much involved in startups, businesses, and all that. And with what Tim also said, that what are some of the things that, is it Tim?
Yes,
it's Tim, right? Okay, so what are some of the ways that those in the diaspora can be able to involve themselves in here? I don't know if that was the question. Sure. Some of the things that they can be doing in here. Yeah, so you talked about leadership as well, being a major problem. Limiting these people from also working here. Well, I have some kind of example.
It's limiting even those of us in here.
Not
diaspora.
I mean, I was just sharing with Prince and Wode that there's this friend of mine who wanted to start more like a food processing business. I think it was like a ginger. Yeah, they wanted to process ginger. Now the thing is that since it's a food processing company, you have to get some kind of license from Food and Drugs Board, FDA in Ghana. Yeah, FDA. Now he gets there with his team, and then the amount that they are charging him as a Ghanaian young startup, the amount they are charging him is very ridiculous. I think he made mention of something around $8,000 dollars. Yeah, dollars. And the question is, how is it wasn't in Ghana. It was in Ghana. Now the question is, how is a young startup, a thriving startup, how is it going to
register your businesses in
how is it going to bring out $8,000 to get a license?
And that's why I say the government, if you're supposed to respect the people that are doing this, they're not acting respectably. So they don't have your best interest in mind.
It's like the other way around. They were supposed to serve the people. And now the people are serving. We don't have selfless leaders. No. Leo, sometimes I get so sad when you travel within Africa. It's not just a Ghanaian thing, but you can see it almost everywhere you go to. A country like Sierra Leone, that's the first country you cry. You see a guy crying, my girlfriend asked me what's wrong with you. And then okay, did I do anything wrong? I was just crying because of how the country is not moving. You go to a pharmacy shop, and the pharmacy shop is owned by Lebanese. You see any fancy building in Salon is not owned by a Sierra Leonean. I just got mad, rolled my camera, started hitting so hard, And when I was about to go to Liberia, I put the video up because I realized that if I'm in the country, I was like, okay, so why do I have to get scared of speaking the truth? I returned, uploaded a video. I went to a Lebanese shop. They saw me like, you're the guy, eh? I was like, yeah, but the system in place to help the people, it's not there. Right. The system is not there. And sometimes we need to speak against these things, but because we're trying to be timid, all of us are scared. And also the political party, that's not my party, I can't talk about it. Like I filmed a video about a young guy in Ghana, I don't want to mention his name yet, but he wanted to build a factory. Okay, can you believe that these people were seizing his tools? They were pulling down his building, saying that you have to pay money. And this guy used Twitter to sell his business. But I wanted him to speak up and he said that he can't bring it up because he's scared that when you talk about it, because the government is still in power. So if he talks about it, they will definitely come for him. This is one of the reasons why everybody is doing real estate business. Because he builds a house, he sells, he gets his profit, he goes away.
You don't have to
We need the industrial revolution in Africa, like, hey, somebody
he said, I was born here, July 8, 1965, to American parents who came at the behest of Kwame Nkrumah to build up Africa. Just imagine, I'm 55 years old now, and his dream has not been realized. We're still just as corrupt and still at, almost at the same spot,
I mean,
so this year of return, it's not nothing new. Folks been coming forever. Just they took us away. We've been coming back. But what are we going to do differently this time? We've got to come to some other way of looking at things. We've got to look at how we worship. We've got to look at how we feel about what's intrinsic to us. You mentioned voodoo. I was on my way to Benin, and they were like, oh, there's a lot of voodoo in Benin. So when I got there, I'm thinking it's going to be spells cast like Harry Potter. This is nothing. This is just how we live. It's nothing wrong with it. I said, what really is voodoo is supposed to make people unclear on where they stand or do something. I said, what would be a more voodoo-like thing than for a group of white people to convince every African on this continent that they are less than, that they are worthless, that they don't have the ability to take care of themselves. I said, that's the real voodoo.
Right.
And the white folks have
Yes, that's right. I was talking to Dr. Mumbi, and she told me that I think it was her grandmother, said, because it was beyond me how a whole continent of people that are so strong could actually be taken over by people who are actually very, very weak.
Yeah.
How does that happen? And we were on the phone, we were talking, and she said, my grandmother told me that there was a spell that was cast over this continent, which made it possible by European powers. Because there are a lot of sorcerers, okay? And America is housing so many sorcerers. Okay, really, for real. A lot of your people in entertainment, these people are in witchcraft. There are a lot of people that do that. And France and England are two big hubs for witchcraft. For serious sorcery. So she said her grandmother said that there was a spell that was cast over this continent, which made it possible for those people to come in. Because it's like, if you really think about it, how could it happen?
But some of the Ghanaians were helping them as well. Like,
Absolutely.
I went to disco. There's this fort over there where a guy called Dixon or whatever, a European from many years ago, wanted to build his house there to house slaves and things like that. And the village people in disco were trying to build the house, and the gods of the land were rejecting the building, throwing it in the sea, like they weren't letting it happen. So they get a little girl who's like a teenager, a virgin girl, and they bury her alive in the spot that the fort is supposed to sit on. So when they put her in there, then the white guy was able to put the fort up. So when you go to disco, there's like inside the forecourt, there's like points directing to where the little girl was like buried. So they helped them. Some of the local people who have these like powers helped them to establish, because they were profiting from it. You know, they were profiting from it. So if I have to do this in order for me and my family to do whatever, then I'm going to do it.
Well, that word profit is subjective, because if we profited from anything that was done, we wouldn't be in this.
Of course not. I mean,
Yes.
it was short-lived.
And we also have
It was short-lived. What was it? Alcohol and stuff like that? Well,
Yeah.
how long
And
was
so,
that?
Yeah.
even
that's not
another
profit.
thing we have to think about even back then was we see the past in 2020, but like, you know, it's kind of like this, you know. So we were doing some history classes, and it's one of those things to where like, I'm not saying every African in the diaspora was ignorant of the realities of the atrocities that have been faced by their brothers and sisters, but you know, let's say you are not used to having this evil mind of like, you know, you have to understand, even like when you look at conferences, like certain conferences like the Edinburgh conference, even the Berlin conference, the idea of the African was like, this guy is not even a human being. He's not like, he's not a human being. And so if I'm coming in as a missionary or a person from the West who's enlightened, to even bring them into slavery is bringing them from a state of subhuman being into humanity. And so for the African, can you imagine like someone who intrinsically does not even see you as a human being and imagining the depths of evil that this person is capable of? It may not be possible. So if someone is coming and they're selling or blah, 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 I'm saying just maybe one element of it is there's a lack of understanding that like, I'm not even seen as a human being and knowing that when this person goes, what they will experience. And then the other thing is, it's like, how can you fight someone? If I'm fighting you right now, I pull out a gun, and you have your fist. What can you do? And there are not enough stories of the people who were relentless, the amazing women, and so many other people who fought back. But, you know, like, one of the things I thought about was when I was reading some of the history is like, when you don't understand, when you underestimate your enemy, or even you don't even know that this is an enemy, then you've already lost.
That's right, that's true.
I think this guy's coming to greet me. We hugged, but he stabbed me with a knife. I didn't have any chance. And then the next time he comes back, now he has a gun. So now I have my knife, I'm ready. Hey, Charlie, the guy's a gun.
That guy is teaching from a far distance, you know, like that, before you get close to the person, now you're done.
It's done. So the understanding our histories and I think having that compassion and that love to be able to sit and explain this, because so many people at my school ask me, oh, Tim, what's the matter with the blacks in the U.S.? Can't they just comply and everything will be okay? And I just have to have some small conversations to help them understand. You don't see yourself as a black person. You're just a human being. But I can understand why you take that for granted, because that's your life.
Right.
So I'm not blaming you for having a life of not having to see yourself every day as the color of your skin. And so I'll just ask.
And if we let's imagine if we do comply.
No, you still get shot.
The rules have been set up for our demise. So we are from Africa. We have some Africanisms that we still do in America. As far as like guys congregating, just like you'll go by and you'll see 7 or 8 guys congregating in a spot. We still do that in America. But now they call that loitering. So if 7 or 8, because we're still Africans, so we'll all 5 or 6, 7, 8 guys will meet up and on a corner. They're just sitting there talking. The police now are going to look at that as you guys are plotting to go and do so wrong. And they'll come in, they'll shoot you, they'll put you in jail just for standing there. And so the laws are made up. So if we do comply, we're complying against things that don't even make sense to us. You know, so and there's several things like that. A lot of the laws are set up for our demise. They're targeted at us and the way they know we behave.
That's right. That's right.
And they turn everything that we do sinister. And it's really just us being African.
But see, that comes back to understanding that the people that were taken here and taken to the West, no, they were not the lucky ones. Okay, they were not the lucky ones. That's why there is like what Nayaa is talking about. That's why
It's an interesting point.
they were not lucky.
You know, sometimes we think that you guys are so lucky.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's an interesting point.
I'm also seeing an African American saying that I'm so happy that I was born in America.
That I wasn't born in Africa.
I'm telling you, I've seen so many of that. So we think that you guys are lucky.
Yeah.
And some of you also think that we're lucky. No.
And that's the part where the conditioning is.
Exactly.
Because we bury our babies. I'm not the only one who lost a son. Right. Everybody I know has had a member of their family killed before they turn the age of 30. But we're so mind melded that we'll attend funerals all through the week. And then act like we're lucky on Sunday and we pray like we do. It's so crazy in my mind that we live in such unnatural circumstances and we accept it. So yeah, we're saying we're lucky because we can go to McDonald's and get a burger, in 5 minutes. We can drink all the alcohol we want till 6 o'clock in the morning. We can everything that we are so proud of being able to do is not even
Nayaa, these stories are locals over here.
I don't know. Did we know that when they were put into slavery and had to do all of we don't know that.
I didn't know. I got to know this when I went to China until I met an African American. I got to know, oh wow, there's somebody called an African American.
Before anything, please don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with others so we can really get into this in really deep depth. I love you guys, and please stay tuned for the next video. Bye.